Good morning, students. In the last class, we have seen what is a black body, and we also discussed something about black body radiation. And we saw the Wien's distribution law, according to which the energy density of the radiation emitted by a black body is proportional to the inversely proportional to the fifth power of wavelength. So we saw this relation and we found that the experimental data is consistent with what is predicted by Wien's displacement distribution law only in one case, that is only when the frequency is high or low, wavelength is low. In this region, the experimental data and the data predicted by Wien's law agree. But when we come to low frequency region or high wavelength region, it is not consistent with the experimental data, which is shown by the blue line. Now let us see another law which again trying to explain the black body radiation, which is called Rayleigh-Jeans law. It is put forward by Lord Rayleigh and James Jeans. So Rayleigh-Jeans said that energy distribution of a body is inversely proportional to the fourth power of wavelength, and this is the relation he put forward. E lambda d lambda. Do you remember what is E lambda d lambda? What is it?
Energy and
Energy density
density.
between of the wavelength between lambda and lambda plus d lambda within that limit. So the energy density within the limit of lambda and lambda plus d lambda is equal to 8 pi k. K is Boltzmann's constant. T is absolute temperature. What is meant by absolute temperature?
Kelvin temperature.
Yeah, temperature measured in Kelvin, and lambda raised to minus 4, which means divided by lambda raised to 4 d lambda. So this is the relation that is predicted by Rayleigh and Jeans. And it is consistent with the experimental results for long wavelength. Here in this graph, along the x-axis, you have wavelength, and along the y-axis, you have energy density. So when you go to very large wavelength, the green dotted line shows the results as predicted according to this Rayleigh-Jeans formula. And you can see that when you go to very large wavelength, they are consistent with the blue line, that is the experimental result. But when they come to shorter wavelength, they deviate considerably from what is experimentally seen, what is experimentally observed. So the theoretical prediction of Rayleigh-Jeans formula is not consistent with the experimental results when we go to shorter wavelength or higher frequency. So this is how it goes. Now at very high frequency, that is short wavelength, means high frequency, that is ultraviolet frequency, the energy density goes to infinity. You can see how the graph goes up. See, it goes up means the energy is going to infinity. Is that possible for any body to emit infinite amount of energy? Is that practically possible? Is it possible for any body to give out infinite amount of energy?
No,
No, teacher.
No, it is not possible. So this prediction by Rayleigh-Jeans law goes to energy density goes to infinity, and the Rayleigh-Jeans law is failed when it comes to lower frequency. This failure of Rayleigh-Jeans formula in the ultraviolet frequency is called the ultraviolet catastrophe. It is called ultraviolet catastrophe. What is meant by catastrophe? It's called
Uh,
destruction. So this is not possible at all practically. So this law fails when it comes to high frequency or low wavelength region. Now let us see how Max Planck's quantum theory resolves the issue of ultraviolet catastrophe. So let us see what is the relation for energy density put forward by Max Planck. So Max Planck introduced this quantum theory, and he used that in the explanation of black body radiation. Let us see what's Planck's explanation of black body radiation. In 1900, Max Planck stated that the energy of radiation emitted by an oscillating atom is quantized. What is meant by quantized? Have you heard this word quantized before? Have you heard this word?
Quantized.
Yes,
We heard
please tell me.
quantum, not quantized.
Is quantized. Didn't you hear that electric charge is quantized?
I
What
guess
do you
not.
mean by quantization of electric charge? You must have learned that in electrostatics. Q is equal to NE. Electric charge on a body can only be numerical multiples, integral multiples of the charge of an electron. You have learned the quantization of electric charge in electrostatics. Now he's telling that the energy of the radiation emitted by an oscillating atom is quantized. Quantized means it cannot have all the possible values. It can have only certain discrete or particular values. That is the meaning of quantized. It's not possible to have all the values. It's only possible to have some discrete values. And it will be a multiple of an elementary unit. So the elementary unit here is the frequency. So the frequency of the radiation. What is meant by an oscillating atom?
The
What,
atom which is vibrating.
which is vibrating? When can we increase the vibration of atoms in a substance? How can we increase?
When we heat them,
Yeah, when we heat them, what happens? The atoms vibrate or its energy is increased. So when we heat them, what happens is the electrons which are revolving around the nucleus in an atom, you know, they are revolving in orbits, right? Each orbit have a quantum number here. N is equal to 1, N is the principal quantum number, N is equal to 2, N is equal to 3, like that. So when it gets energy, what happens is the electrons absorb that energy and they jump to a higher energy level. That is what happens when they get more energy, the form of heat energy, or if you try to vibrate or oscillate the atom in any form, we are providing energy. Now the electrons cannot stay in this high energy level, and what happens? They will jump back to the lower energy level. And the difference in energy is given out in the form of a radiation. And that difference in energy will be equal to H times F, where H is a constant which is called the Planck's constant. So it is Max Planck who have uh, discovered this, and the value of the Planck's constant H is equal to 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. Can you tell why the unit is joules second for Planck's constant? Why the unit of Planck's constant is joules second?
because of the energy or heat
Energy. Here, from this
per
equation,
second.
H is equal to E divided by F, right? E is energy, joules. F is per second, frequency, right? It's hertz. 1 hertz is equal to 1 by second. So per second, so it goes to the numerator. That's why the Planck's constant has a unit, joules second. So you have to memorize this constant value, 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. So a constant into frequency. So it depends upon the frequency of the radiation. So it will be a constant multiplied by frequency. So any body or any oscillating atom in a body can give out radiation or energy only in discrete values, not all values. And that energy of the radiation emitted is equal to H times F. So if we are giving out a radiation for very high frequency, what about the energy? Its energy will be high or low.
So what did you say? Can you repeat again?
If the body is giving out radiations of high frequency, which means its energy will be high or low?
High.
High.
No.
Yeah. Let me tell another case when a body is emitting radiations with high wavelength, large wavelength. So what about its energy? Will it be high or low?
Low.
Low, because large wavelength means the frequency is small. So the energy is small. So energy of radiation is directly proportional to its frequency, and the proportionality constant is Planck's constant. And F, you know, F is equal to velocity divided by wavelength. So energy will be inversely proportional to wavelength. That you have to remember. Now the energy of atom is quantized and the permitted energy is called the quantum state. So you can tell that for an electron in the orbit of an atom, n is equal to 1 is one quantum state, which is the permitted energy state. And n is equal to 2 is the second quantum state, that is the permitted energy state. So for each atom, they will have a permitted energy state, which is called a quantum state. Now, the law given by Planck for the distribution of energy density, E lambda d lambda is equal to 8 pi hc lambda raised to minus 5, means it is inversely proportional to wavelength. Again, divided by exponential of means e raised to hc by lambda kt minus 1. So this is the expression given by Planck's in order to explain black body radiation. And this formula, whatever values are predicted by this formula, perfectly fits with the experimental values, both in the low wavelength region and in the high wavelength region. So this is how Planck explained black body radiation, and he resolved the issue of ultraviolet catastrophe. So the value obtained by this law agree with the experimental results. So that is the blue line which we saw here. So this is the experimental result and also that predicted by Planck's formula. Is this clear to you?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So here in this equation, what is C?
Speed
What
of light.
is speed of light or speed of any electromagnetic radiation? All of them have the same speed in vacuum. Then what is K? If you remember what is K, I discussed this yesterday. What is K?
Kelvin.
No. T is the temperature which is
Oh
measured.
yeah.
Yes.
No.
K is Boltzmann's constant. K is Boltzmann's constant. Okay. And Boltzmann's constant, you must have learned when it comes to thermodynamics. In grade 11, you must have learned in thermodynamics, Boltzmann's constant. See, this is part of thermodynamics as well because they give out radiation. We are discussing about black body radiation, right? When will a black body give out radiation? If it is at very high temperature. So it's also related to thermodynamics. So here K is Boltzmann's constant. So I hope this part is clear to you. Is it clear to you?
Yes, teacher.
So let us now learn more about Max Planck's quantum theory. So, or what is a photon? So, in 1900, Max Planck said that the emission of energy or light or any radiation from an object is not continuous. Energy or radiation is discrete, like what we have seen before. Any atom, when it gives out energy, when matter gives out energy, that's given out by atoms, right? It cannot be a continuous energy, which means energy cannot take any possible value. The energy or radiation is discrete. Discrete means it can have only some particular value, and it is emitted as a bunch or as a packet or as a quantum. So what is a quantum? A quantum is a bunch or packet of energy or radiation that is emitted by any object when it is at very high temperature, or any object absorbs a quantum or a bunch or a packet of energy when it is at low temperature. So light or any radiation is the sum of infinite number of radiation quantum. So when we see light, or when we get any radiation, we get always ultraviolet, infrared radiation from sun. And when we go to hospital, sometimes there are x-rays, and also we are surrounded by many radioactive materials which will be giving out some radiation. So we are surrounded by a lot of electromagnetic radiations. There are radio waves and TV waves around us, which are all electromagnetic radiation. So all these radiations are a sum of infinite now a number of radiation quantum. And for light in particular, what do you call that quantum of radiation? For light, what do you call that quantum of radiation? There is a particular name for that in light. What do you call it?
Photon.
Photon. So this name photon was given by Lewis in 1960. In 1916, Lewis named this particle or packet or quantum of light as photon. And energy of a single photon is E is equal to HF. Is equal to HF. What is H? What is it?
Planck's constant.
And do you remember its value?
Um,
You have to
6
remember
point something 10 raised to minus 34.
6.63.
266.
6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34. You have to remember that value. It's very important. You will use here, and also later, if you are pursuing physics for higher studies, definitely this value should be known. So a radiation or wave consists of billions of photons. So energy emitted from a source is equal to NHF. N because there will be many photons when the energy is coming up. So this is meant by quantization of energy. So energy will be an integral multiple of H into F. HF is the energy of one single photon. NHF means there are n number of photons, and that n can be 1, 2, 3, etc., millions, billions. So when we see radiation, it just consists of lot of photons. each photon having an energy hf. And if there are n number of photons, the total energy emitted by the source is equal to n times hf. Is this clear to you?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So this is what I wanted to discuss. Now let us see more about photon. So in vacuum, photons travel with the speed of light. So you know the speed of light, c is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. And every quantum travels with the same speed of light because they are all part of electromagnetic radiation. So photon is light of electromagnetic radiation, so they have the same speed. Now the rest mass of photon is zero. Even if photon is considered as a particle, fundamental particle, its rest mass is considered as zero. So whenever you consider the rest mass of a photon, it is considered as zero. And every photon has a fixed energy and momentum. Energy is equal to hf. This is equal to hc by lambda. Why c by lambda? Why c by lambda? Can you tell me why it is c by lambda? C is the velocity of light. Lambda is the wavelength of the light. So we know,
It is F, right? E
huh?
equals to H.
Yeah, V is equal to F into lambda. Or in this case, we can tell C is equal to F into lambda. So F will be equal to C by lambda. So you remember both of this equation. Energy is equal to HF. If you know the frequency, you can use this formula. And if you know the wavelength, you will have to use this formula. And momentum P is equal to h by lambda. See, we consider the rest mass of photon as zero. What is momentum? What is momentum? What is meant by momentum? How do we define the physical quantity momentum? Momentum is
Product
equal
of
to
mass and velocity.
mass into velocity. So we suppose that momentum is a property for bodies which have mass. But the rest mass of photon is zero. But still, when it is traveling, it has a momentum P, which is equal to h by lambda. Though momentum is a characteristic property of objects having mass, we find that photon also has momentum. It has an important consequence which we will discuss later in this chapter. So remember that photon has momentum, which is a particular property of objects having mass. Though the rest mass of photon is zero, it has a momentum P is equal to h divided by lambda. So h by lambda means you can write it as E by C. So if you divide E by C, you will get from this equation hc by lambda divided by c. C gets cancelled. So h by lambda. So momentum can be calculated either as hc by lambda or as E by C. Can you tell me what will be the equation for momentum in terms of frequency? Can you tell me what will be the equation for momentum in terms of frequency?
Mass into F lambda.
Mass into?
Oh, no. Nothing.
No. Rest mass of photon is zero. You cannot use that equation.
Like I was thinking, it's the momentum means mass into velocity, right?
Yeah. Look at
And we
these
know
two equations. I just want you to look at these two equations. P is
Teacher,
equal
in
to
terms of what?
5. Yes, please tell me.
Can you repeat the question?
What is the expression for momentum in terms of frequency? You have momentum P is equal to E by C. You have E is equal to HF. Tell me the expression for momentum now.
HF by C.
HF by C. So if you have momentum, if you have the wavelength, you can use H by lambda. If you have energy, you can use E by C. If you have frequency to find momentum, you can use HF by C. Okay, so the momentum of a photon, you have to remember one of this formula. Better you can remember E by C. You know E is equal to HF. You can substitute that for E, or you know E is equal to HC by lambda. So you can remember this equation, P is equal to E by C, and substitute these two, then you will get the momentum. Now, photons collide with particles of matter, and during collision, their energy and momentum are conserved. Have you learned about particle collisions before? Have you learned about particle collisions before? I think you have learned in grade 11 for collision between particles. Yeah, there are two kinds of collisions possible. Which are they? What are the two kinds of collisions possible?
One is at motion, another at rest. Right?
No. There are two kinds of collision depending upon which of the quantities are conserved.
Energy.
If energy is conserved, what do you call that kind of
Oh,
collision?
that name. That
Yeah, I want the names of those collisions. Momentum is conserved in all kinds of collision, but energy is not conserved in all kinds of collision. All collisions can be classified into two, elastic collision and inelastic collisions. In inelastic collision, only momentum is conserved, energy is not conserved. But in elastic collision, both momentum and energy are conserved. So can you tell me, when photons collide with the particles of matter, whether it is a elastic collision or an inelastic collision? Should I repeat what is elastic and what is inelastic collision?
no, teacher, repeat the question.
Yeah,
Teacher, can you repeat?
yeah, I will tell you. Collisions are of two types, elastic collision and inelastic collision. Okay, and let me escape here and I will tell here. There are two types of collisions, elastic and inelastic. Okay. Now, in elastic collision, both energy and momentum will be conserved. But in inelastic collision, momentum will be conserved, energy will not be conserved. So can you tell me, when photons collide with particles of matter, it will be what kind of collision? Elastic?
Elastic, teacher.
It will
Elastic.
be elastic collision. Okay, it will be elastic collision. So you may get a multiple choice like that. So you have to remember, when photons collide with particles of matter, it will be elastic collision, which means their energy and momentum are conserved. Now, if the intensity of light of a particular frequency increases, then the number of photons passing through a particular area at that particular time increases, but energy of the photon remains the same. See, in classical times, it was thought that when the intensity of light is more, it contains more energy. That was the concept that existed during classical times. But that is wrong. Now, after Max Planck's quantum theory, we know that the energy of this radiation or energy of light depends upon frequency, not on intensity. So the intensity of light increases means not the energy increases, but the number of photons increases. So energy of each photon will remain the same, but there will be more photons coming. So if the intensity of light is more, means there are more photons. But the energy of particular or energy of each photon will not be more or less. It will remain the same. Energy of the photon depends only on the frequency. Okay, so if the intensity of light of a particular frequency increases, then the number of photons passing through a particular area at a particular time increases, but energy of each photon remains the same. Now, for a particular wavelength lambda, the energy of light is an integral multiple of hc by lambda. This is same as what we saw in the previous slide, that E is equal to hf or n hc by lambda. Then what is n? What will be n?
Number of electron,
Number of what?
photon, sorry.
Number of photons. So n is the number of photons. What is h? Khadija, what is h?
Planck's constant.
Okay. And Hasina, can you tell me what is the value of h? What is the value of h, Khadija, Hasina? Hasina is not there. Okay, South, tell me what is the value of h? You have to reply something if you know or don't know. Don't waste time. Majid, tell me what is the value of h? Irfan, tell me what is the value of h? Okay.
Teacher
So,
Majid and South are not there.
okay. Irfan is there?
Yeah. So better I say it's time wasting, right?
Yeah. But
And the value is 6.36 into 10 raised to minus 34.
yeah, I want to make sure that they are listening. That's why I'm asking. And lambda is the wavelength and c is the speed of light. So we will end the lesson here and we will meet in the next class. So I will stop now.